I just have a quick reference image. Someone asked me on my YouTube comment this week, they were asking, how do you generate form? Because it seems like you can draw anything. And for me, a lot of times when I'm drawing, I'm just thinking about the overall structure of the thing, right? So I can look at something and go, okay, that's an ellipsoid, right? And maybe this is the frog's mouth, and here's an eye. And it's got these cool legs that are basically cylinders, but they're curved, right? So for me, I just kind of see the world differently, I guess, where let's see how we do these back legs. I'm just gonna fake these in, but I kind of try to see the world in very fundamental geometric ways, and I've found that helps me tackle most things. Some things are still difficult for me, like people. Maybe it's because I hype it up in my head. We'll do some more thumbnails here. Probably because I hype it up in my head and make it more difficult than it needs to be. But, you know, even like the frog, I can start with an ellipsoid there, maybe an ellipsoid here. Well, I guess I'm just drawing the same thing. So if I wanted it facing me, for example, because I've drawn it once and I kind of have an idea of what it looks like, makes it a lot easier to then just rotate that thing. You know, maybe it's got the back legs like that. All right, so that's enough for a quick thumbnail, for example. And if I want to rotate it even further, I can do that. You know, maybe this is the head here. It's got the eye, an eye over here. But I've drawn it once, so I kind of have an idea of what's going on. I don't know what the back of the frog looks like, so I'm just fudging that, or what the head to body relationship connection is. You know, is it more of a straight line or does it dip? That's something I'm not sure on. The throat as well. But drawing in this way helps me just quickly. You know, this is akin to drawing with marker, and then doing an overlay. This is Sketch Today Live. Thanks for joining, guys. Thank you so much. I'm having fun. I hope you are. And we're back on Wednesday with another live. I am going to try and do an interview episode this week with a friend of mine, because I want him to tell you his story about drawing, sketching, career, where he started, came from, all that good stuff. So watch out for that. That should be coming. Check out the store. Check out the blog. I'm pumping content out. I appreciate your support, especially in these hard times. Links are on the frame if you want to support, all that good stuff. But most importantly, share, subscribe, turn on those alerts, and keep watching. All right. Enough of that. So does our robot frog have like weapons, or is this a friendly robot frog? Tell me about this frog. Give me something I can pull from. I just need one thing to like pull into this. One thing from the chat. All right, let's get our final. I kind of like that initial view, so I'm gonna kind of riff on that. Just draw some shapes in here. I assume a frog has 5 digits. You guys correct me if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, you let me know. don't even know how I settled on a frog. Maybe I think this was just me, but I like the idea of nature, so thank you, thank you for that idea at least. All right, so I'm just using a little marker brush here that I had, and it is a robotic frog. So now I'm gonna start. Now that I have the form, I'm gonna start dividing that form into maybe just some functional bits. We can even use this. I think we'll be able to use the gray as a bit of an underlay for the sketch, so we can leverage that. But yeah, just starting to cut these up. Maybe have some parting lines. Just need to take a look at this face. You know, because if they're hard parts, I want it to make sense at least. This frog does not need to be smiling, so I'm gonna give it more of a neutral stance here. Maybe extend these eye elements out and start to just plan on maybe some surfacing that can happen. Like so. Alright, just catching the opposite of whatever is happening on the left foot, or right foot, I should say. Alright, I mean, if this frog, let's see, they swim, so what would a frog need? What kind of augmentations would a robot frog need? Probably has air tanks already, so I don't need to do that. Because it's not a fish, it needs to, you know, use oxygen in some way. Kind of like this. Maybe this is a sort of chest piece detail for the frog. I'm just putting something on the back. I don't know what this is yet, but let's turn off our layer there for now. Flip this guy. And I'm gonna go ahead and warp. See if I can help the perspective, maybe shape, all that stuff. But another good way to just quickly make changes. So with the perspective, you know, this leg in the front needs to be a bit bigger. So I'm just trying to pull either side and give this thing some volume. Yeah, maybe something like that. And now, just lower the opacity and start to sketch. Maybe he has propellers on the back. Oh, that's a good idea. I could do some sort of propeller swimming apparatus, something like that. That'd be fun. That's a great idea. But yeah, I think this will be my second and last sketch today, because I do have to run and go see my mama. But I'll be doing more Photoshop stuff, so don't worry. There'll be more of this if you like this kind of content on the live. But yeah, feel free to hit me up with any questions. I can draw and talk, so not a big deal. I guess frogs do have webbed feet, right? So we'll incorporate some sort of webbing in this foot. Busy week ahead. I've got a university I'm lecturing with, doing a little workshop. Of course, I have the streams, working on some new projects as well. So yeah, I've been busy, but that's good. Busy is not a bad thing for me. It's funny, I have a lot of friends who they're like, hey, what are you doing this weekend? And I'm just like, I'm working, man. I'm always working. Work is fun for me. I mean, besides being with the kiddos, work is fun. So I will be posting the replay of the live. I guess it's just 2 segments, so it shouldn't take too long this time. Hopefully you're enjoying that and able to catch things you missed from the live stream. Yeah, that was a great idea, Lynette. So maybe it does have some sort of propulsion type thing. As for the nose, I was trying to think of a way to like have it feel like a nose, but it doesn't really need a nose if it's a robot frog, you know. Because a robot's not going to breathe. But I mean, it could be some sort of tube or whatever as well. Or we'll just fake and fudge it into something. Also an option. Once again, thanks for joining Sketchaday Live. I'm Spencer. I love to draw. I love you. It is a robot frog, so this eye, let's go ahead and just add a couple details inside. Right. So the back leg here, I'm just gonna kind of put a silhouette in, but not really commit to any details. Get our line weight going on some of these as well. Particularly as the elements of the sketch are closer to us, we definitely want those line weights to be a little bit heavier, okay? Man, I thought I was only going to go for an hour or so today, because I do have to go, but the car sketch took a little longer than I thought it would. Which does happen sometimes. Faux show. All right, just some line weight on the eye there. Maybe a couple of texture things. All right, I'm just taking some of these underlay sketches and placing them on the page. Okay, just to help out the whole layout. Finger spasms in that. Matthew is asking, biggest disaster I've had on a project. If you mean like during the process of the project, that's one question. If you mean presentation-wise, that's another question, because I've had some unfortunate situations happen. There are few things more stressful than realizing your mistake is costing a company millions of dollars. And I mean, I try to be careful, but at the same time, there are times where I have had an experience where I'm like, oh shit, sorry, I swear, guys. It's like, I made a big mistake. So I'm trying to think of the specific one, but it's likely when I was working for that smart home company that I've mentioned before. And I could have sworn up and down, like I had communicated a certain thing to the vendor we were working with, and the vendor came back with like, hey, this spec says whatever, because when I got the sample for this particular thing, I think it was a thermostat, I was like, holy crap, this is not what I asked for. Not at all, not even close. And it's the kind of thing where mass production is bearing down on you. You have to make some critical decisions. Project managers are getting upset because design is quote unquote taking too long. And yeah, I just realized I made some pretty bad, or I had some oversights, at least on my part. As far as other mistakes though, this one time I was screen sharing with a client, and I think it was me and my business partner at the time. We were like chatting with each other, and I said something disparaging about the client, and the client saw on the call. And so to save face, I had to come up with some story as to what I meant by X. That was uncomfortable. Fortunately, we finished out the project, they were happy, moved on, we're all friends, but man, that was a very, very uncomfortable moment for me. Very, very uncomfortable. Just shading in the shadow here. I think I'm just gonna keep this one simple, guys. Maybe a little texture, a little shading. But again, to my point, a lot of what I do in terms of form generation tends to be around just thinking of the form, the object, the thing in very simple geometric terms. So it makes it a lot easier to understand what to do, how to do it as I'm drawing. Meaning, is this a cylinder? Is it a sphere? Is it kind of like a sphere, cylinder, cube? What's going on? Happy Mother's Day to you mothers out there. You mothers. Happy Mother's Day. Mother's Day is a weird day for me because I have my kids all the time. They live with me all the time. So it's a little bit weird. I kind of feel like a mom most days, honestly. Alright, so there's our frog coming together. Nathaniel is asking, besides glare from light, does drawing at an angle help in any other way? All right. I'm gonna switch cameras and show you. I may have mentioned this before, but drawing at an angle, it actually helps you because you want the drawing surface to be as parallel to your, or in line rather, with how you're looking at things. You don't want to have things off axis or you leaning back in your chair, because that's going to cause distortion. So when I'm drawing, if I have my tablet like this as much as possible, so having it even at a small angle helps. It's not perfect, but it helps. So you want to have your stuff at an angle so that you're able to get as close to parallel as possible. And that's going to give you the right feedback you need to draw the right way. Okay, so objectively speaking, standing and drawing is always better. It always beats it. But I'm not comfortable in my studio. It's a small space, standing and drawing with you guys and presenting. Maybe I'll change the setup one day. But what I try to do is be as over the paper as possible, or the screen. And that's going to help with your accuracy, with your perspective, and how you pick up on any abnormalities in your sketch itself. All right, so back to the sketch here. We'll finish this up with just some gray below everything. Wrapping it up here. On Wednesday, I will be doing a pre-show for the Patreon. So if you want to get in on that, head on over to patreon.com/sketchaday. And that is where you can sign up. If you've been a Patreon for more than 2 months, I will send you my Procreate brush set for free as well. So check that out. I try to take care of you guys because you take care of me. All right. So there's just a little gray on top. And if we want, we can further enhance that. I've got this marker brush I'm kind of experimenting with. So let me jump into my settings. I should have saved these settings. Let's see. We're going to do brush projection, angle. We're going to have direction, K. And I need to make sure I save this brush preset. Boom. Okay. So now this will follow my stroke, much like my Procreate marker brushes, which is awesome. All right. But if I want more of a shiny look, I can just use this marker brush that I just created to help punch some of the shading here. And the cool thing is it will follow the stroke. Back in the day, man, I mean, when I started with Wacom, the only way to get this to work was if you had the art pen and if you were using like Corel Painter. Photoshop really wasn't a drawing tool back in the day. It was more of a, as the name would imply, photo editing tool. So it's really cool to see how far the brush engine has come, what you can do with it, and all that good stuff. So they're not paying me to say this, but much thanks to those guys for all the hard work, because it's really come a long way. Some of y'all know, but some of y'all have no idea how far this has come. Once again, thanks for joining on Sketch Day Live. We're just wrapping up here with our robot frog from Sci-Fi Sunday. We sketched some sort of futuristic hover vehicle. Then there was a suggestion to do some sort of robotic animal. So here we are, sketching a robot frog. Mugshot had said a robot frog that throws fire. I don't know how to do that now. I mean, yeah, I don't know how to do that now. Sorry I missed your comment. I didn't really mean to earlier, so my apologies. All right, my apologies on that one. Because because I do love and appreciate the comments, ideas, suggestions. Some of the best things I've done on the channel have been because you guys challenged me to do them. So I really do appreciate all the feedback and info that you give, all the challenges, the asks. It's great. I just ask that you give back if you learned something. So tell a friend about the channel, show them something if it's in person, right? Figure out some way to kind of just give back to someone else. It's one of the reasons I do this. I didn't really have this as a student in school. There weren't a lot of resources. So it's cool to see how the world is changing, but if it's going to keep being a thing, you guys need to take up that mantle of sharing, share what you know, all of that good stuff, and pay it forward. I think that's what they call it, pay it forward. So I have this weird thought. What, you know how people are like they say? What if they was like a super secret organization? I should like illustrate they or them. Because people are always like, you know what they say. I'm like, who is they? They isn't really a thing. Why do you keep saying they? But what if they was really a thing? Wouldn't that be crazy? These are the kind of thoughts that keep me up at night. Not really keep me up at night, but I guess have the potential to keep me up at night. All right, guys, I'm really excited with the sketches today, the tablet, all of that good stuff. I'm just adding a couple little effect strokes here just to round out the page, but super fun. Thank you for being a part of it. We're going to review real quick, and I'll show you, in case you're just joining, what you missed out on. Don't worry, I will be posting the replay of these segments, including the information about how to draw, how to orient yourself to your work surface to kind of help out. I'll upload the frog here and the car that we did as well. All right, so this is our frog that we did. Boom, there it is. Matt says he has a quantum computer challenge for me next time. So there's our frog. Super quick. I'm actually happy with that. It turned out pretty cool.